Good afternoon, all. It's Monday, the 11th of May, and welcome to Saba's Way of Life. And I love the number 11 because it keeps showing up around me and has done for quite a few years now. I wonder if any of you have experienced the same thing. 11:11, 11:33, 9:11, 10:11, 3:11. When you just randomly look at the clock or the watch or your phone and it's 11 past something or 33 past something. Anyway, I'm digressing, but that has huge meaning because we know that there are other forces at play that send us messages in many ways, through numerology, through symbolism, through metaphor, that we must all take note of, and that we have been led to believe for the last however many thousands of years that it's all nonsense. But of course it isn't. It's the opposite that's nonsense. The logic and reason, although it plays a little part, largely nonsense, especially now with the change in the cosmological energy flying in. We're in a different age now, and that's all coming to fruition beautifully. It already has, it's not coming. So many of you will know what I mean. Those of you that don't, just ignore me until such time you feel that you want to explore more. Okay, let's get back to gardening. So over the last couple of days I've actually not done very much, and that's fine. Let me turn around and just show you. So the first part of this video will be just showing you the book, because I'm gardening using the moon and biodynamic principles, and the second part will go into the garden, and I'll just show you what's happening in the greenhouse, or not happening, and what I'm doing. So here we have the actual biodynamic calendar. I just put my glasses on and we can see that we are now on Monday the 11th of May. And if you remember from the last video, it's important you watch the videos one by one if you're interested in picking up a few tips from me with what I'm doing every day or in the garden. So if you look at Monday the 11th here, there's one part that's greyed out, and then there's another part which is yellow, which is a flower day. So the greyed out part, I've not talked about this. Whenever you see greyed out parts on the calendar, it's because there has been some kind of event, lunar event, or some kind of event that's taken place, whether it's an eclipse or whether there are certain nodes, and therefore they are unfavourable for doing any sensitive work in the garden. Doesn't mean you don't. If you want to ignore it, you can. But obviously, this calendar has been produced after many, many, many years of experimentation with working with the moon. So, for example, over here, I'm just trying to see what's actually happened. There's a node. You can see there's a sign there which says a node. And that particular node at 5 o'clock in the morning is stating that don't do any gardening work around this time. The time's up here. So it's saying right up to around 9 o'clock here. Add 1 hour for British summertime, because this is in Greenwich Mean Time. So right up to 10 o'clock, best not to do any work in the garden. And then after that, because of the constellation where the moon is at the moment, the constellation and around the earth, it is lending itself to a flower day, working with any plants that are flowers, or vegetables like cauliflowers and broccoli and some others, and some herbs as well. So I'm just aware of that. And whilst today I'm not doing much gardening because it's quite a cold day and I just don't feel like it really, I'm aware of what kind of day it is, just so that I'm aware. Now the other thing also, if you look along here on this side, you've got like a blue area here and then a pink area here, and on them they're written northern transplanting time and southern transplanting time. really all we need to know here is that this is when the moon is ascending, these 14 days, and these 14 days is when the moon is descending. So the pink is an ascending moon and the blue is a descending moon. Now for me, what this means is when I turn the page over, from Monday or Tuesday the 19th, Monday the 18th, the moon starts to descend because it's blue. And when the moon is descending, it's a good time to transplant because energy is going into the root of the plant. So if you're going to repot or transplant young seedlings into their forever home, I will always do it on a descending moon. You can see here by this little black circle, the new moon is coming up, and I'll give you more information on new moon and full moon and activities at that time. So I'm kind of leaving all my repotting or transplanting to from Monday the 18th onwards, and I know I'm going to be quite busy in those 2 weeks. Right, now I'm going to go into the garden and let's just see what's happening. So now remember, the purpose of this video is to share with you what I'm doing on a daily basis while I'm gardening, and it's not to impress you with how much I know or don't know for that matter, or how much I'm doing. You know, we're all human, and I don't want you to feel that, you know, I imagine I can't start gardening because I just can't keep up with it, or what if I feel lazy one day? You have to be consistent, but it's okay to not feel up to it. You know, it really doesn't matter. You must follow your inner tuition. You get this guidance. If you've got the passion for it and you've got a guidance coming from inside you, follow that. I do that and things always work out. It doesn't matter what it is, gardening or otherwise. So let's go into the greenhouse first of all. Let me turn this around. It's horrible weather today. It's cold and it was really quite warm yesterday. And I just want to show you what's going on. Not that much actually. From the last video I did 3 days ago, I think it was pretty much the same, except what I've noticed, the success has been with the flower seeds and some of the fruit seeds. In fact, all the fruit seeds. Here I've got the tomatoes, which are growing slowly because we're not getting as much sun as I'd like. The marigolds are doing beautifully. If I pick one up, look at them. They're beautiful. And if you go to a garden centre and buy these, albeit they'll wait till they're a little bit bigger, how much would that cost you? And you can do these yourself. Yeah, it's beautiful. They're going to just be a bright orange and look beautiful in among the beds, as well as great companion plants to keep bugs away. Now these are the yellow courgettes, and this is my prize actually, and I'm really worried about transplanting these because I don't want them to get eaten up by bugs or die because it's bad weather. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on these yellow heritage cucumbers. I'll look at the back of the seed packet, and then I'll very carefully transplant them next week in the descending moon. So if you recall, I had explained to you that put the cosmos and nature in your favour when you're doing any gardening work. So I'm going to use the descending moon, which is next week, so that all the energy goes down into the roots for those beautiful fruit courgettes, lemon courgettes, and I'm going to make sure that I transplant them on a fruit day, because courgettes are a fruit, they've got seeds in them. And then on top of that, when you transplant, it's always best to do it in the evening. When I say evening, late afternoon, after 4 or 5 o'clock. And why is that? That's because in the afternoon, the earth starts to breathe in. In the morning, after sunrise, the earth breathes out. So when you're transplanting on a descending moon, on a fruit day, and in the late afternoon, you've got the entire cosmos in your favour. All the energy is going down into the ground, into the roots of the earth, and you're giving that courgette the best chance of survival and thriving. Sorry, I was going to say thrival, but to survive and thrive. And that's very, very important. And that's why this information is just magic. And we're not taught this. I mean, you don't find this in any modern day gardening programs. It's just totally misunderstood. And even if the fruit or veg was to grow anyway, regardless of using this kind of, I would call it a technology, nature's technology, the actual point of growing all of this is for the nourishment that it puts into your body, especially when you're using your energy to grow your own food. So when you're doing it, harnessing part of who we are, which is nature, you're going to have maximum nourishment in your body. So much so that actually we don't really need to eat animal products then, you see, because everything we need is in the plants. And of course we're recycling it. We're not, you know, everything is alive, everything is sentient, including the plants. To be fair, it doesn't feel right killing something to eat it. It doesn't feel right to me at all, because they're all sentient beings. And I've changed a lot in my thinking, albeit I am still eating meat. I need it. I find I get very weak. But when we're growing our own food in this way, we're working with the laws of nature. The seed touches our fingers, our hands. It puts everything in the soil, and it grows in the most perfect way to be able to nourish us and our family properly. We won't even need to eat very much at all. And I'm very, very clear on that truth. It's knowing. It's wonderful. So that's that. Now, if you look down into this raised bed, you can see here nothing is coming up. The onions and carrots, which are on that side, are not coming up. I can see tiny things, but it could be anything. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. Oh, look over there. This is where I had the kale and cabbages growing, and some cat's been in and, you know, messed it all up. So another learning curve. What I should have done was put a little netting over it, and I've got the bamboo sticks, and just put a net over it to protect it, which I didn't do. But, you know, never mind. Something might grow. I'll just keep an eye on it, and if it doesn't, I'll plant something else. It doesn't matter. So this is live, showing you what I'm doing. The carrots are in the pots. I've got that pot, this pot here, and then there's another 2 pots here in which I've got different types of carrots, and they will germinate. They will germinate because the soil is loose, it's right, it's easy. I'm going to water it now. It's been very windy, so they'll germinate fine. So I just wanted to explain to you live what I'm actually doing, which is not very much today, but at least I'm aware of what's going on. I can see and I can feel that it's very dry, it's been windy, and as a result the plants are all dehydrated. Everything needs a good watering, and a little bit later, when the earth gets ready to breathe in, I'll give everything a very good watering. Another note about watering, which some of you may not know, but it's not a good idea to water a little and often. It's better to leave the watering, leave the plants to get on, and even if they have to suffer a little bit in dry weather, but it encourages them to bring the roots down, really look for water down below. Of course, if we're in very hot weather, you would think twice, but especially between now and here where we are in the UK in May and June, try and put off your watering as long as you can, to allow all the plants in the garden, I'm not talking about seeds here, allow all the plants in the garden to use their roots to find their way down and strengthen their roots as well, and find water below before you spoil them and start watering them. When you do water well. You know, I'll stand there with the hose, and I'll give everything a proper soak. It's quite a meditative experience, so be prepared to be out in your garden for a good half hour, depending on how big your garden is, or 20 minutes, listen to a podcast, or just practice rhythmic, deep breathing, which is what I do quite often. Okay, the other thing is hanging baskets. A couple of years ago I made 7 or 8 hanging baskets with my mum. I'm going to do another 3 or 4 this year, and I'm going to share with you what I've learned, the mistakes I've made, and the successes with the hanging baskets. So that's all coming up. So have a lovely day, and I will touch base with you in a couple of days.